in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, St. Catherine goat thief sent to prison. St. Catherine resident Lincoln Gordon, who pleaded guilty to stealing 4 goats, was on Friday sentenced to 16 months and 18 days imprisonment in the parish court. Gordon, who faced the larceny charges, was sentenced by parish court judge Janelle Nelson Gale. The judge told him that he was given a discount on sentencing because he pleaded guilty and for the time spent in custody. The facts are that on November 26, 2024, Gordon and another man, who is still at large, stole 4 goats in Barry District and placed the animals in the boot of a Toyota Probox motor car. The police dancehall entertainer Kippridge among several men listed as persons of interest by St. Catherine Police. Dancehall entertainer Kippridge, whose given name is Marlon Plunkett, is among several men named as persons of interest by the St. Catherine North Police on Friday evening. The police say the men are believed to be able to assist them in investigations into several incidents in the parish. Being sought from 2B Oxford Road, Top Banks, and the March Pen in Spanish Town are dancehall artist Marlon Plunkett, otherwise called Kippridge, Damian Johnson, otherwise called Valence, Chevon Hewlett, otherwise called Peter, Carlos Fairweather, otherwise called Finger, Theophilus Campbell, otherwise called Danga Reds, Romario Hobbs, otherwise called Pops, Donovan Richards, Dave Richards, otherwise called Burrow, Alfonso MacDonald, otherwise called Boo, Orville Buckner, otherwise called Will. And from the communities of De La Vega City, Dallas Lane, being sought are Daniel Smith, otherwise called Fire, Cedric Brooks, otherwise called Sledge, Laurel Morris, otherwise called Dan Dan, Daywan Shaw, otherwise called Ramos, Eric Miller, otherwise called China, and Javon Blackstock, otherwise called Brandon. The men are being urged to turn themselves in immediately to the Spanish Town Criminal Investigations Branch. Anyone with information on their whereabouts is being asked to contact the Spanish Town Police CIB at 876-984-2305 or 876-984-4490. The police on Friday evening imposed a curfew in sections of Spanish Town, including in the areas where the persons of interest live, amid the violence earlier Friday. On Friday morning, angry residents mounted a roadblock near Okra Lane and De La Vega City to protest the fatal shooting of 2 brothers by the police along the nearby Spanish Town bypass on Thursday. They claimed that the men were killed in cold blood. However, police reported that the men fired at them first, leading to an exchange of gunfire. 2 firearms were allegedly recovered. Police launched a manhunt for suspect in brutal murder of teen girl in St. Andrew home. The police have launched a manhunt for a suspect in the brutal murder of 14-year-old Price Johnson. The teen was sexually assaulted and severely injured in an attack at her home in Palm Grove Court, St. Andrew on Thursday afternoon. The Hunts Bay police report that around 1:59 p.m., Price was at home when a man entered her apartment and the screams were heard shortly after. A relative alerted by the commotion entered the residence and was later seen wrestling with a man who managed to escape. Price, a 9th grade student of Haile Selassie High School in Kingston, was found in the apartment with severe wounds to her head and the face. She was rushed to the hospital where she died while undergoing treatment. Her relative, who also sustained injuries, was treated at the hospital. The police are appealing to members of the public to assist in locating a suspect in connection with the incident. He has been named as Imani Lignot from a Crescent Road address off Spanish Town Road. We ask you to assist us in locating him so that the death of Prince Johnson does not go in vain, said Superintendent Damon Manderson, head of the St. Andrew South Division. Manderson is also urging members of the public to stop circulating nude images of the deceased. We appeal to members of the public to desist from circulating the nude picture of the victim. It is distasteful. It is unacceptable for us to be displaying such indiscretion, he stated. Member of Parliament for St. Andrews Southwest, Dr. Angela Brownberg, expressed the outrage and the deep sorrow at the tragic loss. This is a heartbreaking and appalling act of violence against an innocent child, she said. No family should have to endure such unimaginable pain, and no community should have to live in fear of such heinous acts. My thoughts and the deepest sympathies are with the bereaved family, friends and residents of Palm Grove Court who are struggling to come to terms with this devastating incident. The attacker is reported to be a person of unsound mind, and Brownberg reiterated the urgent need for stronger mental health interventions and community-based support to prevent such tragedies in the future. St. Andrew businessman accused of killing son 4 years ago dies of colon cancer. Delton Knight, the St. Andrew businessman who was reportedly captured on video shooting his son to death at the family business place in Papine, St. Andrew, nearly 4 years ago, has died of colon cancer. The 67-year-old man, who was on $800,000 bail, died on Thursday at a hospice. Knight, who was facing charges of murder and illegal possession of a firearm, was scheduled to return to the Home Circuit Court on May 15. Knight was arrested in April 2021 for reportedly shooting to death his 38-year-old son, Ruel Knight. Reports are that on Monday, April 12, 2021, about 9:45 a.m., the businessman, a licensed firearm holder, had a dispute with his son at their place of business. During the quarrel, Knight reportedly pulled his weapon and shot Ruel in the chest and left the scene. The injured man was rushed to the hospital, where he later died. In a video which was circulating online, believed to be closed-circuit TV footage of the shooting, one man was seen rushing towards another, who then fell to the ground. The man who was left standing then kicked the man who was on the ground before running towards his car and driving away. Two other men were seen moving swiftly to drag the man on the ground out of the path of the driver of the car, who appeared intent on running the man over with the car. Following the incident, Knight was arrested and charged. He subsequently made several attempts through his lawyers to get bail in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court, but was denied and was in custody up to August last year. However, he was offered bail on humanitarian grounds due to his illness at an emergency sitting of the Home Circuit Court during its August term break. The businessman was previously denied bail due to the strength of the prosecution's case, which includes the video recording of the incident and the statements from witnesses. Attorney at law Samoy Campbell was also representing Knight. Curfew imposed in several Spanish Town communities. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in the Spanish Town St. Catherine communities of De La Vega City, 2 Port Henderson or Okra Lane, and Dallas Lane. The curfew started at 6 p.m. Friday and will continue until 6 p.m. Sunday. The boundaries of the curfew are north from Spanish Town Bypass and the Marchpen Road to the intersection of Burke Road and the Marchpen Road. East from the intersection of Port Henderson Road along Burke Road to the Hospital Bridge. South from the intersection of Burke Road and Hospital Bridge along an imaginary line to the intersection of Port Henderson Road and the Lilliput Road. West from the intersection of Lilliput Road and the Port Henderson to the intersection of Spanish Town Bypass and the Maypen Road. All persons within the boundaries of the curfew are to remain indoors between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Meanwhile, the security forces are maintaining a presence in De La Vega City after residents on Friday afternoon remounted roadblocks to protest against the Thursday's fatal shooting of 2 men by the police. The residents blocked the Port Henderson Main Road near the Spanish Town Bypass on Friday morning to protest the shooting deaths of 44-year-old Everton Spike and his brother, 33-year-old Jason Spike, both carpenters of Port Henderson Road, St. Catherine. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.